Hey everyone, so today I want to walk you through something that's going to save you a lot of time and help you maintain your UI design consistency for client projects. And I'm talking about building your own component library. Here's the thing, if you're working on multiple projects in Komposo, you've probably run into this. Every time you start a new project, you need the same buttons, the same navigation bar, the same charts that you've already done in other projects. Sure, you could screenshot those components and use them as a reference, but you still have to write an entirely new prompt describing what you want and writing separate prompts for buttons and navigations and forms and cards. Fixing each one individually wastes a lot of your credits and your time. And even after all of that work, you still won't get the exact results you had before. My name is Moritz. I spent most of my life building software, first as a product manager, now as a founder. Today I'm building Komposo, helping over 100,000 users design and build software faster. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to set up a dedicated project just for your components, basically putting all of your reusable stuff in one spot. Then I'll show you how to use Komposo's duplicate and move features so you can grab any component and drop it into a new project whenever you need it. Super quick, super easy. The whole setup takes maybe 7 to 8 minutes. And after that, you're set for good. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so head over to your Komposo dashboard. You'll see your existing projects here, or if you're just getting started, might be empty, and that's totally fine. Now we're going to create a brand new project that's specifically for storing our components. Just click on New Project and name it something like component library or whatever makes sense to you. Just make it obvious that this is your go-to place for components. Oh, and one important thing before we move on, when you open the input modal for your prompt, make sure to select the component option here when you're setting things up. That way Komposo knows when we start generating these components that we are actually using the component mode. All right, now let's actually generate something. I'm going to start with buttons because let's be real, you're using buttons in every project and it's nice when they're consistent. So I'll type something like create a collection of modern buttons, primary, secondary, danger, and disabled states. Keep it clean and minimalist with rounded corners. And just like that, Komposo generates some button designs for me. Now, here's the important part. Make sure these are exactly how you want them. This is your master version. Get the colors right, the spacing perfect. You can even adjust the hover states here because you're going to be using this everywhere, right? That's the goal, to essentially have this as the blueprint and to be using this in other projects. So it's worth getting it right now. I'll make a few quick edits. I'll tell Komposo in the edit prompt here, make the primary button larger and use a gradient light blue color. There we go. This looks much better. Now let's add a few more things. I want also a navigation bar. So I'll type create a modern navigation bar with space for a logo on the left, menu items in the middle, and a call to action button on the right. Nice. This looks pretty solid. Now let's also create a card component. Design a product card with an image area at the top, a title, a short description, and a price tag at the bottom. And there you go. I can use it for e-commerce projects now, pricing pages, portfolio sites, whatever. One component which has a ton of different use cases. Now I'll keep adding a few more things like forms, footers, hero sections, maybe some charts, just enough basically to cover the basics for this demo. And of course you can still add more stuff later as you work on different projects and figure out what you actually need. Here's also a quick tip. If you don't feel like creating everything from scratch, Komposo actually has a templates library right here with some pre-made components ready to go. So you can just grab those, edit them a little bit to match your brand or style, and then add them to your component library. And this just makes everything much faster. Okay, now for the magic part, actually using these components in a new project. So let's say I'm starting a new project and I'll create this new project here and call this one e-commerce website. Now I want to bring in some components from my library, and here's how you do it. Head back to your component library project. Let's say I want to use these buttons in that new project and also the navigation bar that we just made. Then click on your button screen. Now go to the top right corner, see those 3 little dots, click on that, and right there you'll see the duplicate screen. So what this does is basically it creates a copy of this screen, and now you can take that duplicate and just move it into your real project that you're working on. And for that, you'll click here and you get a little menu showing all your projects. Find the e-commerce website and select it. And just like that, the whole screen with all my button components is now in my e-commerce project, and literally took 5 seconds, and I can use it from there. And I also still get to keep my original if I want to use it in a different project. So let me do the same thing with the navigation. Back to component library, nav screen, and then I'll hit those 3 dots, duplicate, and then move the project. And now when I'm back in my e-commerce project, both screens are right there waiting for me. The buttons and navbar are ready to go. All right, so now let's actually put these components to use. Having them sitting in your project is nice, but the real magic happens when you start using them in your actual designs. So let me create a new screen in this project. I'll tell Komposo something like create an e-commerce homepage with a hero section. You can always make these prompts more comprehensive. I'm just doing this for demo purposes now. Okay, now here's where it gets really good. I want to add my navigation bar to this design. So what I'm going to do is select both screens as references. The homepage screen I just created and my navigation component screen. And now I will type in Komposo, use the navigation bar design from the reference and add it to the top of this homepage, matching the same style and colors and layout. And just like that, there it is. You can see my exact navigation design perfectly integrated into the new page. And you can do this with any component in your library, buttons, form, cards. Just select both the original component and the page that you want to integrate it in, and then just tell Komposo to integrate them. Easy. Okay, now before you go off and build your own library, here are a few quick tips. First, as I said, always duplicate before you move if you want to make sure that you can reuse the component again in a different project. Second, try to keep your library updated. So when you, for example, create a new component in a different project and you really like it and want to reuse it, just make sure to duplicate it and then bring it into your component library project. That way you can keep reusing it for other projects and it will grow over time. And third, if you work with different types of clients or brands, think about making separate libraries, each with their own styles. So for example, I've got one for SaaS products and another one for client work, and it just keeps everything way more organized. And yeah, this is how you can currently do this workflow in Komposo. We are planning to add a feature that makes this even easier. Then you don't need this separate project to host your component library. It will actually just be built in. But for now, this is the best way how you can handle a component library and keeping UI design consistent across your projects. All right, that's it. Simple and fast. And honestly, it's going to save you so much time if you actually do this, and it will keep your clients happy. If this was helpful, drop a comment and let me know. If you want to see more tutorials like these, just hit the subscribe button. I am planning to publish more. Also, let me know what you would like to see. I'm always looking for new ideas. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.